Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I've got 6:30 Verizon time, so I'd like to call the February meeting in Montgomery County Fire and Rescue Commission meeting to order. Ms. Hill, would you open us with a prayer tonight?
I'll be glad to, thank you. Father, we thank you for all that are gathered here this evening, and we thank you for their service and the sacrifice that they give to us every day. We pray for everyone's safety and well-being in your name. Amen.
Thank you. Appreciate everybody coming out tonight. Hope we're enjoying the spring weather, but I guess the groundhog gave us a few days of truth. So. Next item on the agenda is public address session. I don't see anybody for that tonight. The minutes from the January meeting were emailed to everyone. Floor will entertain a motion for approval.
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved as recorded. Thank you, Lonnie. Administrative reports. Supervisor Kitts, I understand, is running a little bit late, so
It's on
we'll
its way.
let you start.
Okay, I'll be glad to. I know at the last meeting we talked about maybe Chief Haynes would come and talk to the Board of Supervisors about some budget requests. I've talked to them since then, and I don't think it's necessary for you to come. I think they understand the need for that, so I think we'll be okay. I know that they might want to hear the CIP committee recommendations when it's time for that. And Michael might talk to you a little bit more about the MOA, but the MOA was approved at the last meeting.
Thank you. Jason?
The main thing I had sent an email yesterday to the fire chiefs with the call type discussions that we need to all have soon. And next week's pretty booked up, but maybe the last week of February, first week of March, we can carve out a little bit of time for all of us to talk on the fire side. And then along with that, there were some fire quadrant response areas. I think several chiefs wanted to talk about a little bit too. So maybe we can do that in the same meeting. That's all I had.
Okay, thanks, sir. Moving on to old business, SCBA replacement, Michael.
Yeah, so at our last meeting, we talked a little bit about applying for AFG funding to try and replace all the county's air packs. I reached out to a grant writer to see kind of a range of pricing, and they're supposed to be getting back to me soon to see what it will cost to hire a grant writer to do that application for us. She didn't really give an explanation as to whether she thought we would be successful or not. She's kind of waiting to give a price back and then hopefully explain to us that we'd be successful applying this year, but I'll update you guys when I know more. But as long as everybody's here still good with us applying for air packs for the next few years, that's what we'll plan to do.
Any questions or comments on that? Any other old business? Did you say you?
Yeah, I can talk about it real quick. So the MOA that you guys have or have already signed tonight was the same one that we went through and edited back in November. There weren't any changes from after that meeting. Everything that we agreed upon was within that MOA that was approved by the board on Monday night. So it's in effect as it's executed, and we'll go from there. But I appreciate all y'all helping us put that together and the communication that went back and forth to get that approved. So
Several board members mentioned that too, about how they appreciated your input and that they recognized that it could have gone a better way and we'll do better next time, but they did appreciate everybody who worked on that and, persevered and didn't give up on it, so thank you.
Any other old business? Moving on to new business, CIP committee, Chief Hanks.
Okay, the CIP truck committee replacement met at a Christiansburg station, it was yesterday? Day before yesterday?
Tuesday.
And we went through the list pretty thoroughly, and the committee's gonna recommend that Christiansburg get to replace their 2005 engine 87, and then the alternates will be Elliston should be able to replace at least one of their brush trucks, and possibly two, depending on funding and what pricing comes in as we get bids in on the trucks, or once we start pricing trucks. But the CIP committee will recommend, that we replace the Christiansburg engine, and then one or both of Elliston's brush trucks, or we decided maybe one of Elliston's brush trucks and maybe Long Shop's squad, if there was enough money there.
Yeah.
We could look at it when that time comes, but the two big priorities, depending on the amount of funding that we would get, we would be replacing the Christiansburg truck and at least one Elliston brush truck. And then if we have leftover funding, then we would look at Long Shop's truck or do another Elliston brush truck.
Any questions or comments on that? I believe most everybody that's here was in that meeting, except maybe Chief English. Do I hear a motion that we've proceed with the recommendations of the CIP committee?
So,
Motion's made and seconded. Any further discussion on it? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Okay, I guess we'll back up a minute. Like to welcome, and I haven't met you personally, but Supervisor Kitts is our new liaison for the Fire and Rescue Commission. I'd like to welcome you here and looking forward to working with you. And we had a place carved out on the agenda for your comments, so if you have any comments you'd like to make, that would be your time.
No, just so you know, for those of you who don't know my background, and I apologize, I'm always doing this, but I own my own business in Radford, and if I don't do it, it doesn't get done. So I was trying to squeeze in more than I probably should, but I think everybody here probably knows that, because I think y'all squeeze in probably more than every day. Your wives probably tell you about it too. But this is important to me, and I want to be on this because my grandfather's a retired firefighter from Roanoke. My grandmother on the other side is a retired police officer, 4 generations military, and service is absolutely the driving force in everything that I do. That's why I'm here, and I'm just here to help, and I'll be going around later, and he'll be taking me around so I can meet with everybody, sit down, and shoot the stuff and make sure, I get your feel and your point of view. So thank you very much, and I hope that I'm able to be positive help for you guys.
Thank you, sir. Look forward to working with you. Next item on the agenda under new business is the changes being made in the way the rescue squads handle their drugs, the pharmacy and controlled substances. Chief English, would you like to speak to that?
Sure. So about a month ago, I guess now, I forwarded out a letter to all of the EMS agencies just to kind of make sure that they were aware, but the Regional EMS Council sent out a letter, I guess it was January 23rd, letting us know that while we were kind of anticipating some changes to how the state mostly from the DEA side of things, was gonna handle ambulance drug boxes and medications. We kind of kept waiting and never heard anything on that, but a new regulation came out through the FDA that's gonna have an enforcement date of November 1st of this year, that they think is gonna have a pretty significant impact on how we currently operate with the drug box exchange at the hospitals. Most of what I've heard is just speculation at this point, so nobody really knows exactly what it's gonna look like at the end of the day. The EMS councils are supposed to push out guidance to every agency by May 1st, giving at least 6 months to implement before that November 1st changeover, but in reality, 6 months is a pretty short timetable to get some of that stuff going, so the letter from the EMS council recommended that any ALS agency obtain a controlled substance registration, because it sounds like no matter what direction it goes, that's gonna be something that's required. There are varying levels of that, so the easiest one to obtain is basically just a one-for-one exchange DEA controlled substance registration, and that just means that you're not buying it or stocking it or like selling it, you're just trading with whoever to get it, whether that's the EMS council or the hospitals or whatever. So the official answer is that they're not recommending anyone do anything until May 1st, but at the same paragraph, they're also saying that everybody should probably consider getting a controlled substance registration. So yeah, I guess read into that as you will. But again, that one-to-one exchange option is a pretty simple one. From my understanding, it does not involve an inspection or anything. But if you decide to then transition over to doing your own pharmacy or something later on, then you'll have to do that process again. So just something to consider. We just went through the process of getting our pharmacy up and running, and it was probably a good year of work to do. So it's not overnight, and so if you're planning to go that route and have your own pharmacy and everything, I would say get that started sooner rather than later, but yeah.
Yeah, that can be a pretty involved process. I know we talked about it in Reiner's budget request last week, that to set up a pharmacy in each agency would be, first and foremost, you gotta have a space to do it in, and then you gotta be able to have access control and covered by video surveillance. So it's
And then
pretty
the medicines, if you're gonna start doing that, that's another huge expense, and they all expire, so that's a
That's
ongoing big expense that we hope to not have a huge impact from, but I've heard everything from the orange boxes are going away completely to nothing's changing except the agreements are gonna be between the agency and the hospital. Others are thinking that it's not gonna change anything except the narcotics, cause that's what they're really worried about. And so it might be just simply stocking our own little narcotics kit. But it's all just speculation and guesses at this point.
Yeah, my hope was that we could all work together and work under one, but that's not the case.
Depends, yeah, I mean,
Because
that
it's
would be
the
helpful. I
case.
think it would be very nice, especially for the smaller agencies where it's just not cost effective to do your own pharmacy, cause I mean, yeah, things are gonna expire so fast that you're just basically buying them and then throwing them away and constantly doing that, so I think it would be ideal to be able to do something kind of more centralized, but it's too soon to know if that'll be an option. Currently, it's an option, but we don't know what's gonna change, so. whatever happens, it'll be expensive.
Making a note.
Any questions or comments on that? That just kind of put it on our radar so we know it's coming. Any other new business? Hearing none, we'll move on to discipline reports. Start on the right side of the room. Tyler, you?
I got one thing. Been working with the Red Cross on the National Sound the Alarm event, which is a smoke detector installation event that they do every year. They try and do one in each county. So I've been talking with them about that. We've had a few meetings, and I'm probably gonna send something out here in the next couple weeks to all the chiefs. So if y'all have people that are interested in participating in that, it sounds like we'll probably target something in the Shawsville and Ellison area this year. So if anybody's got any people that are interested, I'll send something out here soon on that. That's all I got.
I think I heard that the standards for smoke detectors are changing, maybe in March or May of this year, so that might be something to look at before you get too deep into it.
Well, the state fire marshal's office is involved, so
Okay.
if anything's changing, I'm sure they'll let us know. But it's also it's gonna be on March 23rd, so that's the date they've set. So. But I'll send something out here soon.
Blacksburg Rescue. Okay. Chief Haynes.
Not much to report. Next week, we're gonna be shorthanded during the day and probably some at night for the whole week. I've got several people going to Fire and Rescue Conference in Virginia Beach, so I'll be pulling out Tuesday afternoon, be back Sunday. And we're pretty shorthanded during the day. Definitely during the day, and then probably shorthanded at night too, but got all my lieutenants going except for one, and myself, and so if you come here, get toned out to come to town, you know why, but appreciate everybody's help on all the calls we've had. We'd like to extend our condolences to the county and the PSA group, you know, for the loss of one of their employees, you know, this past week, and enough time for all of us out there on that scene. So it's hard when you know the people involved, but thoughts and prayers go out to everybody with the county and their families and stuff. That's all I've got. Chief Williams, Dustin, last day was last Friday, and he's gone on to fly on a helicopter full time, and that's something he's been wanting to do. And he's also been wanting to go back to PA school to try to get his PA, and we wish him all the best there. And I think it's a good move for him. I think that's what his ambitions have been all along. I know that he's been pushing to be able to do that, and we're taking applications for his replacement, and more to come on that deal. Everything's running pretty smooth right now, and no issues. So we wish him the best.
Thank you, Chief.
I don't have anything tonight.
You Tech? Never. Fire Rescue. Rider Fire.
The only thing I got to be for next month, we'll have our oyster supper on the 23rd, and then we'll have a entire Easter egg hunt for all the kids on the 30th. It'll be at the high school. This will be the third year we've done it, and it's been pretty awesome for the community. I'll bring that up again next month. Let everybody know. Besides that, that's all I got. The only thing I have is our new interface truck, Attack 24, will be going to the conference in Virginia Beach. The manufacturer requested permission that they're taking. It's actually gone, and they are providing insurance coverage front to back.
Chief?
One thing I got, we leave March 12th through the 14th to go to Florida to hopefully do final inspection on our truck. So we should have it in before too long.
Long Shop Rescue, I can give a report on our new ambulance. It was ordered in August of 22 with a 600-day build time. And I got notice this week that August of 24 was expected completion date. So they didn't quite make 600 days, but it takes a little longer to get them. So the chassis hasn't come in yet. It's supposed to come in May. So the Ford has been the major holdup on that, but hopefully in August. Okay. Didn't miss anybody, did I? Except you.
I've got a couple things tonight. First, kind of echoing what Chief Hanks said, I've been talking to Chuck throughout the week. He just wanted to thank everybody that was out there on Monday. I know it's been really hard for him and his staff, but he was really appreciative of everybody that was out there, specifically from Christiansburg, but Chief Smith as well. They're going through a lot right now, but Chuck's in high hopes that they'll get through it and recover as best they can. So thanks to everybody that was out there. And then the last thing that I have real quick, after our CIP committee meeting on Tuesday, we sat down with all the fire chiefs to talk about recruitment and retention, and the issues that we're starting to see that aren't just affecting us but nationwide with the volunteer shortage. And so we sat down on Tuesday and had a good conversation about steps forward and trying our best as leaders within our departments to put our heads together to come up with ideas to try and fix some of those issues. I don't think, and I don't think anybody else thinks this either, that there's one easy fix to it. I think it's going to take us collectively working with our communities to try and find solutions. So we're going to be meeting on a pretty regular basis to try and come up with things. Anybody in this room is more than welcome to that. I'm not going to call it a committee because it's just us sitting and talking, but we'd like to try and put our heads together to come up with ways that we can fix the problems before they get to a point where there's no solution from our end. So just appreciate everything that everybody's been doing. But if y'all need anything, as always, reach out.
Thank you, Michael. Anything else needs to come before the commission tonight? Set a
One
new
thing.
record tonight.
What happened to the radios we ordered?
I included you on that email a while back, right? That we're working on getting those out this spring when we do a countywide radio reprogramming. I thought I included you on it.
You may have, I just forgot about it.
Yeah, we're just waiting to finish getting the code plug built for it and getting pushed out. Because we need to do a reprogram for everybody anyway based on some surrounding jurisdiction changes that we've had. And put those out at the same time.
Jason, is there anything we can do to be able to communicate with Pulaski County now since they've changed their stuff?
They still struggle with their new radio system right now, and they're still working through a lot of changes with it, so it's a week-to-week thing for them. The plan, and I communicate with their radio manager pretty often, they have an interoperability plan. They built 4 mutual aid channels that are analog, much like our event channels, one of which is going to be a countywide simulcast. And that's part of the late spring reprogramming. That's actually the main driver for the late spring reprogramming, is to get access to that, because the stuff that we have in our radios today for Pulaski County is no longer applicable.
Right.
So we weren't planning to do a programming until around Christmas time. We said, there's that and a couple other things that we need to consider. And knowing that those 2 zones in the radios are essentially dead, we want to try to resolve that. So right now, not a lot. But that's what we want to try to address. And we're also kind of waiting to see how everything shakes out with their new system and make sure there's no other changes, before they finalize
I know
everything.
they're struggling with it pretty bad.
Yeah, and we're trying to give them some time to work through all that and make sure they land where they are going to land, and then make sure there's no other changes on our side we need to consider, so.
So
So communications with Pulaski County, we'll just have to go through dispatch, like with Snowsville or anything like that. And can y'all communicate at all with them on our side at all? Nothing. That could be.
Get you a cell number.
Telephone.
I'll call the chief.
Right now, it's just telephone only.
Yeah, so.
Okay, all right. And that started when?
They went live about a month or two ago,
I was gonna say maybe 2 months ago.
but it's been back and forth, so
All right, I'll reach out.
that's something that we'll continue to address and talk about as we look forward to what we do with radio here too, is to try to make sure we continue to have some kind of interoperability with the adjoining counties, even if it means we have to step up and do something to,
Okay.
you know, do something.
Anything else?
I will note, they may have our channels. So we have shared our channels with them, so there's a potential, I don't know what they've programmed and done, so there's a good chance that they have TAC 16 or South 11 or something like that, so.
Okay. I'll call him and I'll find out, and if I find out, I'll send you an email.
And I'll talk to their person too and see what I can find out.
I'll do that.
All right, appreciate everybody coming out tonight. Our next meeting will be March 21st. It'll be springtime for sure then, so this meeting's adjourned.